a harmonious salutation to you. This is what they are after, your Merkabah. So let's understand what it is then. The Merkabah. Then we're gonna get into arcs, spaceships and UFOs, armors, then the tachyon speed, impermanence, how you lose control of the Merkabah, and the sevens. So let's understand the word then. Merkabah. So Mer, in this case, it's a type of light. Okay? Let's put it that simply. This kabbalah, you already heard it elsewhere from kabbalah. It's the same. So here would be, let's call it spirit, to be very straightforward. And here we would call the body. So this technology, which were from our Atlanteans brothers, which the Egyptian got, is a way for your body, or what you understand as your body, what you understand as your place, as what you're driving, let's say, is going to drive that using light to both your spirit and body travel around, or to create new realities. Usually it is understood as a vehicle. That's why it is connected to this card, the Chariot. It would be called the flaming chariot. So we have here Ares, the god of war, driving his two horses, black and white. We have two columns, same idea. Here we have the Egyptian one. You have the Sphinx at the bottom. You have the mage on his quaternary, his lower quaternary, being controlled by two Sphinx, being able to walk around. And last but not least, we have the Kabbalist one, with again the Sphinx, and we see the connection to the letter Z in the Latin alphabet and to the Gemini sign. So the Merkabah in our body can be seen as this. We have many levels of it, and some of them are not called Merkabah, they're called something else, but I'm going to show you. We have here the body, and you can picture two tetrahedrons, one to the bottom like this, and one to the top like this. Okay? And they spin in opposite directions. Eventually, they spin so much that they become some kind of plasma around you. They don't have form anymore. Like this. And this, you can create it all with, again, your mind, your soul, your imagination. And eventually, it grows so much that it starts to resemble something else that you might have seen in movies and other places, right? What does this remind you of? So the Merkabah is truly how spaceships and UFOs happen. It is not necessarily some physical spaceship going around. It's a light spaceship. It's a plasma spaceship, okay? And this is the same idea from the arcs, like the Ark of Noah. You're not literally building an ark to save other people. It's a light ark that you can have people around. And you can also see this when you have in certain, like, I don't know, children stories or TV movies and whatever. When somebody has an armor that is special, like we have in Saint Seiya, for example, this anime. I'm gonna do a Where's Kabbalah series on it. And their armors are their light bodies, their Merkabahs. So again, you can understand it as your mind vehicle, as your body vehicle, the many vehicles you have. I already made a video on the 7 bodies we have, right? So again, the 7, this is the 7th arcana. You can see how it all starts to correlate. Now, we already talked about the Merkabah, we already talked about arcs, spaceships, and armors. Now let's talk about the tachyon speed. So you might have heard from your physics teacher that the speed of light is the base one. We cannot go after it, right? We cannot go more than it, accelerate to it. Now, the thing is, there are speeds that supersede it. And one of them is the tachyon speed, which is at least 27 times faster than the speed of light. And that's how you can travel using your Merkaabah, obviously not your physical body, into distant places that just using the light wouldn't be sufficient. So connecting to the tachyon speed and understanding how it works is especially useful, for example, also if you want to practice things like telekinesis, because you truly have to operate from a different level. If you're trying to change things into this simulator using the tools from this simulator, it's not going to work out. You're going to go outside of it. Another very interesting thing to understand from this arcana is the concept of impermanence. You are not one being that is fixed in reality. You're not a crystal. You are a being that is traveling constantly across the spheres between different paths. And if you don't accept that, you're going to crystallize yourself into one path, and eventually it will break and it will create a husk. So again, you got to understand the impermanence in everything, in your physical appearance, in the friends you have, family, relationships, jobs, whatever it is. Truly, how much money you got, it doesn't really matter. Everything is impermanent. Everything is susceptible to change. And the more you change, the more experiences you have, the bigger your consciousness, which is the goal eventually. So being connected to the Gemini sign, which if you have a lot of Gemini into your map, especially on the ascendant or the sun, you're going to be one of those people that is constantly going to try different things. Now the challenge is obviously going to be more deep into some things than others, but again, the main goal here is to understand this impermanence and live with it. Use it to your advantage. Ways that you lose control of your Merkaabah. Well, we have quite a couple. We have ads, we have music, we have, what else did I annotated here? Oh yeah, definitely. Politics. We have religion. Many other examples. I'm just gonna give a couple here. So, you get hammered by symbols and narratives every day, the whole day, especially if you spend a lot of time on the cell phone, which is not a problem per se, but if you're not, filtering what's coming in, and if you don't understand it, it goes straight into your subconscious, straight into your Merkaabah, and guess what? In a few years from now, people are going to be making cues to install chips in their brains and to have augmented capabilities. I don't judge anyone, but understand that the light that is coming from here is going to be changed. And then it's not going to be the source controlling you anymore, but someone else that created the technology from here. So be very aware of anything that is trying to mess around with your Merkaabah, because if you don't get hold of it anymore, then you cannot control where you're going. Again, when your mind is too confusing, when you're trying to go away, but you cannot, could be because you're trying to go somewhere, but these two horses, two parts of your brain, are going opposite directions. You're not controlling them. You gotta get hold of the car again and control the direction. You gotta stop living in the passenger seat. And to finish it off, we have all the sevens. For example, we have 7 virtues. Okay, virtues. We have 7 sins. We have the 7 planets, the main ones. We have the 7 chakras. And so on and so forth. Everything that is in sevens, you can see that is going to be related to this arcana. Everything in this simulator is created in sevens. And how do we get the 7? Well, one of the ways, we have the 3 plus 4. So the 3 top chakras, the spirit, and the 3 lower chakras, the body. again, the 4 lower, the lower quaternary, plus the top ones, the spiritual ones, then you have the 7. So that's the idea with the 7th arcana. I hope to like this video on the matrix characters. Follow me if you want to keep looking into these. We have 22, so there's still a couple more to go. And also the other series that I do, like on the archaeometer, where's Kabbalah, and eventually other videos that I do. Glad you stayed until the end, and I hope you liked it. See you next.